Philadelphia is very much a city of neighborhoods. And there are people here in this neighborhood who, for a whole variety of reasons, the idea of school is very difficult for them. So once again, if you take this idea of crawl, walk, run, you know, we've had lots and lots of people who have crawled, you know, I mean, who have come, taken a couple courses, and it's so exciting that within a year, they may be sitting for their test, for their certified peer specialist training. But it's you know, getting the things together, and then from there it's a springboard to a whole lot of other things. So not only do we have the Saturdays at the center, but every training that we do for our volunteers, I mentioned that everything is peer-to-peer, but also is a voluntary health organization, which means almost everything we do is done by volunteers. The walk had 350 volunteers. However, all of the other things, we do a lot of training and support and supervision for volunteers. And I see that as one of the primary roles of the staff, is really to help guide and develop the volunteers. And as part of that, every course that they take, they get credit for. So it's always building that resume and building the opportunities for them to be able to, one, feel better about themselves, but also to be going in some direction. Marcus talked about the recovery planning. A lot of them will want to get a job in the field, but it seems overwhelming. And so the recovery plan will help them look at, you know, I need to go to this many courses, and if they can start doing something here on a very small scale, you know, people, as I said, springboard from here to getting their certification, getting a job. You know, there's people all over the city who have gotten jobs as a result of being a volunteer and taking that route. One of the things we monitor, we track very carefully everything that happens here. We're part of a federal grant, so we have a research project to track what people do, and tracking the amount of work that the volunteers do versus the staff and the ratio of all of that. And we know we're directionally correct when the hours of direct service from the staff go down and the volunteers go up. And as that's happening, all of a sudden, and we were going directionally wonderfully until like May.
Yes.
And we said, what the heck happened? How did this happen? The volunteers all got jobs. And we realized that there had been some hiring had occurred, and now we had to start again. So it's a continual thing, but it was a good thing they got jobs. We also have the Leadership Academy, and the Leadership Academy is a training that we put on that helps people in conjunction with the Mental Health Association in order to help people get leadership skills to really be assets to the community. Some of it it also earns them college credit that they can then have achieved some college credit that they can use as, you know, now they've gotten something. But it talks about like the tipping point, and how do you deal with conflict, and how do you what's your elevator speech, and your, you know, all of the things that help you really play a leadership role throughout the whole city of Philadelphia. And what we're doing with those folks now is we've now had 120 people through the Leadership Academy, and we are placing them within each zip code, because they all live in the zip codes. And the zip codes, then, they can be recovery advocates in each one of their zip codes. So all of the kind of building that momentum, because I think that's what in the past has not always occurred. The opportunity to have the foundation there, that you have people at the local level who really can help carry on your message no matter what.
That's right.
Is what we continually try to look at. How can we do that? How can we build that? So the city has a lot of, DBH has a lot of faith-based initiatives, and all of the other, your storytelling and all. If you can start pulling some of those people together at the zip code level or at the neighborhood level, you've got some wonderful resources for each part of the community. One of the things that we started doing last year around our public policy was looking at and geomapping how many AA, NA, CA, all of the, and Al-Anon, Nar-Anon, all of that, meetings were in each zip code, in each legislative district. So when our folks would go in to talk to their legislators, because we're always trying to build a constituency of consequence, so that they say, wow, the recovery people, there's a lot of these people, we better pay attention. They would be able to say, you know, Mr. Legislator, you've got 75 meetings going on every week in your district. If that 75 each had a minimum of 10 people, and many meetings are much larger than that, but 750 people in your district who each belong to families who really think this is an issue that's important to them. You're beginning to have people take notice. We noticed as our walk grew, we used to have people who would come in and would say, we'll give you 5 minutes. You know, the legislator will come and give you 5 minutes, but that's it. Or get them in and get them out. And as the crowd has gotten larger and larger, the legislators want to stay longer and longer. And I think that that's really exciting. I had with Mayor Nutter this year, his assistant said, we've got him scheduled, but you have to promise, absolutely, he has got to be out of here by 10:30. So we sort of turned ourselves inside out to make sure that he was on stage, off stage, out by 10:30. Well, 10:30, as you saw him, he's signing autographs, he's doing all, and I'm saying, got to be out of here by 10:30, got to be out of here, you know. And his handler finally said to me, he's staying. I said, oh, okay, all right, well, it's your problem, not mine. You know? And the treatment providers, very much, we have worked hard to not be in competition. And what we talk about is that recovery support services are before, during, and after recovery, or after treatment, sometimes in lieu of treatment. And that statement at one time got us into a lot of difficulty. And we've needed to clarify that many times people will come in here not knowing they needed treatment. And we're a wonderful way to keep people safe, but also to keep them motivated to be able to walk through the journey of accessing treatment. So when you were talking about sometimes funding is a problem, sometimes bed availability is a problem or whatever, they do have a place in the community that I think over the years providers have been appreciative of, because it really reduces their no-show rate. If somebody is coming from here, they know they're going to show up. The other piece is that we work in conjunction with treatment, so that's before treatment. During treatment, there may be some difficulties with treatment. There may be some, we just had the other day, somebody who relapsed, and it turned out they were buying their drugs from somebody at the treatment center. And we were able to work with the treatment provider to really, because they didn't want that either, you know, and to help correct that problem. So we're able to identify some problems in a non-confrontational way and try to work through problem solving on how to solve that problem. And then the after treatment is that we believe that we help people have a much better recovery rate, because, and some of our data shows that, but also it's always, if people are having difficulty, we can always refer them back to treatment, but we can also help them learn the life skills. While they're in treatment, they are coming here and learning some of the things that are not happening in treatment. And at one time, providers would say, we do that, we do that, we do that. Now, over the years, they have learned we don't do that. And we do that in a different way, but we're not cutting into their business. I mean, we're actually helping with their business. And I think that that has been a major turnaround for most of the community here. It's not perfect. There are still people who see it as a competition, but it's certainly moving in the right